Hello, welcome to Jamie TV. Thank you for joining me once again. It's nice to have some people here so that I don't have to just sit here and talk to myself. If you are a viewer from the future, then welcome from the past. And if you're here, then please throw me something into the chat so I can say hello. Yesterday, I spent a couple of hours going through the musical sort of techniques, theory, if you like, of how we can make music sound scary. The kind of music that we might use for a horror movie soundtrack. And we also looked at some of the sounds that apply well to that kind of music. At the end of the stream, I got this. And that's all I've got. It just loops round and round. That's as far as I got. I ought to put that on the screen there. Okay, so we've got this 1 bar arpeggio, and it's in 13/8. And there it is, just looping round and round. So today, what I want to do, for the introduction there, I was just experimenting with a few chords just to see if I could play some chords to this arpeggio that didn't sound truly awful, but did sound kind of horror movie, right? Because the thing is it's an arpeggio that uses some outside notes, so that's kind of tricky. So now, what I was going to do was spend some time with this today before the stream so that I had some idea of what I might be able to play to the arpeggio. Not so that I could just go and play some chords and go, oh, look at me, aren't I clever? I managed to nail it right away. But just so that, I wouldn't spend ages and ages on it, boring you to death during this stream. As it happens, there was a major catastrophe in our house today because Roblox stopped working. The servers are down. And so my little boy went crazy. And so with helping him and his friends who were all in the what they call it, FaceTime chat with him, just, sort of consoling them, and and telling them it wouldn't be forever and that Roblox would be back. Anyway, right, so let's have a look at the chat. Thank you very much, DJ Cthulhu. Thank you once again for making a donation. That's really, really sweet of you. Thank you. Hi, Matthias. Hi, Gerald. Thanks for joining us. There are other people watching, I can tell, from my streaming thing. So if you're here, then don't be shy. Throw something into the chat. And Roblox was fine there, was it? I'll not tell my boy that. It's probably something to do with the floods that we've had locally because, it may have, if it's affected the power somewhere or a mast somewhere, because all my son's friends all live in this vicinity, so they all couldn't get on. So nightmare. The stuff of horror movies, in fact. All right, so there's something I want to say to you, right up front. I've been thinking about this piece of music, as I always do. When I'm making a piece of music, it kind of occupies my every thought. So even though I didn't really have time to spend on it between yesterday's stream and right now, I've been thinking about it. And one thing that I didn't talk about yesterday was that there are some. You Were on Broken Bones. My boy plays that. So there are some horror movie soundtracks, like for instance the John Carpenter stuff, that are made predominantly with synths. Now, when I was checking out Sampletron during the stream yesterday, I was kind of thinking, there's a lot of great sounds in Sampletron that would really lend themselves well to a soundtrack. I could probably make a soundtrack just with Sampletron, and I think those really old tape and vinyl based samplers would really work well. But also, I'm a really, really big fan of like the 80s synth sounds, the Juno and whatnot. And I'm kind of tempted to maybe see if I can make this track with sounds like that. Now, recently, all the music I've been making has fallen into what I call this cyber metal category. And I've been wondering if maybe I could make this like horror cyber metal. So I've got all these thoughts going round in my head about what sounds I could use with, no definitive conclusion. And of course, the thing to do is always, just to kind of press on with getting the music together and then sort of experiment with the sounds and see how we feel about it. But what do you guys think? What sounds do I go with? All synths? Do I go with all kind of 80s synths or the really old kind of sampler kind of sounds? Do we go with more modern synthy stuff or the more traditional instruments? Because the one factor, like I mentioned yesterday, that is always a problem is if you use the emulations of real instruments, like real violin sections and real piano and stuff, then you do have to really concern yourself with the articulations and how you've played it in and have you made it sound quite real enough. Of course, if you use synthesizers, they're not meant to sound real. So it's not a problem. I guess that could sound like a bit of a cop-out, but I hold my hands up. All right, so what do you guys think about what sounds I ought to proceed with? At the moment, it's all just chat. It doesn't matter. I will experiment with them as I go along, and you'll help me decide. But I just wondered what your thoughts were. Hey, Brad Dude. Thanks for joining us, man. Load of flood here in Sheffield. Yes, my daughter, my middle kid, was at her girlfriend's last night, so my missus has been over to pick her up, and what normally would take half an hour took over an hour due to floods and due to people driving like lunatics in all that water and having accidents and needing to be recovered and roads getting blocked off. So, to be honest, the instruments in any door will be fine. Orchestras are expensive. Yes, that's a thought. And another factor is, because I make these videos, people send me codes for software. So I have so much software. It can be, I've got a massive amount of quality software. So it can be kind of difficult, to decide which ones. I'm a huge fan of Tal for my Juno sounds. I even thought actually I might use my Uno synth for something that could be fun. So let's press on with this. If I play my keyboard now, I have got a very nice Beathawk choir. But if I go down here and select Sampletron, I've got a Sampletron sound. Let's just get that on the screen. I should be using my mouse. There we go. Right. Now, in here, there are these like old school sampler choir sounds like this. Now that, to me, straight away says horror movie soundtrack. Right, and there's quite a few choir presets. Hey Grant, how we doing? Hope that you're well, sir, and hope that you're healing very well. Gerald says, I like the 80s, so I think for me, maybe Syntronic. Okay, I don't actually, I have a great relationship with Aki Multimedia, but I don't have Syntronic. Is Syntronic AUV3? Because if it is, I could possibly ask them for it, but I'm not so sure that it is. Does anyone in the chat know whether Syntronic is AUV3? There's this epic choir there. That's a good one. And there's one I particularly like, which I can't find. It's Bold Tron Choir. Right, that's pretty cool, isn't it? Right. So, I don't know. I'm a bit stuck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press on with trying to find the chords. Let's get the chords that work with this with this arpeggio. And now what view is going to be best? If I go here, you can see what I'm doing with my hands. You can see me chatting and talking bollocks, and you can see the iPad. Okay, right. I think that covers everything that we need for now. So let's have a look at what we have. So in the arpeggio, yes, it is AV3. You've got it. Oh, okay. Because Syntronic has Junos and Jupiters and stuff like that. The 80s synths, I believe. Fill me in, Gerald. Fill me in. Right. So in the arpeggio, we have got this C. We've got the minor third. We've got the 5, the flat 5, so there's one of the problematic notes, and we've got the minor second, and it goes something like. Right, so the 13/8 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My keyboard playing is great, isn't it? Not. Okay. So, this means that because we've got outside notes, the best thing to do is to consider what's there and then try some chords that we think might be appropriate and then just see what sounds good. Right? That's all we can do. Excuse me while I have a little cough. Apologies. Right. So, while I was messing about there, during the introduction, I played an F minor, a G minor, and a C minor, and I was moving between the basic chord, the minor 6, the flat 5, and returning to the minor chord. And they seemed to sound pretty good. Now, I was talking yesterday about how you can use maybe use just like the minor chords from a key and use them descending. That would work. But I'd like to get some of these inversions in. So let me just have another little pissy pants around with that. Hey, Ed, thanks for being here, man. So F minor. And G minor. The timing is awkward to know. So all of those chords, those 3 chords and those 3 inversions on all 3 chords seem to sound okay. They don't sound beautiful, but they sound challenging and creepy rather than really unpleasantly out of tune or anything, in my opinion. I mean, if you think they sound wank, then just throw something in the chat and say, hippie, you suck, that sounds terrible. So I'm thinking we've got a basis there. The root note of the arpeggio is a C. It makes me tempted to start with the C. I wonder about an octave higher. I think that puts it in the same frequency as the piano, though. Maybe we'll try and stick to an octave below. I wonder if actually that or the choir, not the Now then, which one did... What was the second one I used? The second one I used I thought was particularly creepy. Was it that one? I don't know. I should have kept track of that, really. Hang on. So I was near the top. We had the ascendant trunk choir. And then there's the atmospheric choir. I think that one's creepier. It's really rough around the edges, a little abrasive, a little distorted, like the kind of sounds I was talking about yesterday. So, I have this thought, right? So, you see, because the arpeggio has this flat second in it, what if we tried rooting from the flat second for a chord? Maybe play a minor chord off that root. I'm going to try it. Yeah, I think that works. So what if I go from a C minor to the C sharp minor and play all the inversions? I think that works. Tell me what you think. So what about then if we tried something like, if we moved from... okay, so this is the chord I'm moving to. Right, the flat 5 from that chord, that's the particularly challenging note in that chord, is a G. We know that the G minor sounds okay over this arpeggio, so maybe go from the... We'll do a tritone shift. To the F minor, drop back to the F minor, which is a less drastic sound, but then end the F minor with a challenging chord, which could be, if it works, could be the F minor major 7. What's that? That's a... There. You're thinking more of a toy piano sound for the melody. All right. Well, that's really easy to just try right now. Let's. I'll just close up the view of the time signature for now, and I'll just drag this MIDI down here, and. Right, so now I'm finding the chords easier to play with the beat hook choir. I think I'm going to play them in with that. Then we'll piss pants around with them, correct them, because I'll no doubt play it shit. And then maybe move it to Sampletron and find a sound. Maybe I'll use a blend of the beat hook choir with the Sampletron sound. Who knows? We need to get the chords in for now, and the changes between the chords sound sharper with this sound, so it's just easier to play in. So my theory is, if I do this one over C minor, move to C sharp minor, which I found very difficult to play, G minor, F minor, ending on a minor major 7. And that one could maybe sustain to some kind of a cliffhanger. I don't know, right? We'll worry about that in a bit. I'm going to need a loop off. And I'm going to need this spread out like this. Now I'm thinking it takes, moving through those 4 inversions of the chord takes up 2 bars, I think. So I'm going to need 8 bars. It's a good job I'm not giving a maths lesson, let's be honest. Right? So now I think if I put this multi-select tool on and grab all of these and then do the copy and drag. Oh, what? Eh? Oh yeah, I have to unselect that and then do the copy and drag. I do find that kind of annoying and unnecessary. Right, now I think I'm probably going to need the metronome on, and I'm going to need to listen to what the metronome is doing before I actually attempt to play it. I am going to make such an arse of playing this. What do you guys think to that toy piano sound? If you do use Logic Pro for iPad, always try and remember to unselect the copy icon, because things can go seriously pear-shaped very, very quickly if you don't. Touchscreen interfaces are great until they're not. So I'm going to need to let me bring my beat hook choir up here. There. Press record on that track there. I should be using my mouse. Sorry about that. Okay. Let's attempt this. That was utterly dire. Utterly dire. Let's delete that. Right, I'm going to go for that again and try to be considerably less sucky. I want snap to bar on, don't I? Take auto off and make that snap to bar. Right, we'll put that there and take that loop off, and here we go. Okay, the good news is, I think the chords sound great. I think they really, really work. Especially that last chord there, it sounds a bit epic, but my playing is just all over the place. I think I was playing in time to that arpeggio far, far better before I switched the metronome on. You know? Map the chords to a drum pad. Cheating is more efficient. Multi-select is almost impossible to do in Cubase's on Android. Oh, you like the toy piano, Mateus? You know what? Android on Android on what? Cubase's on Android, I've found to be more awkward than on the iPhone, which it really shouldn't be because it's exactly the same. But somehow the selecting and everything just doesn't work quite so well. But but I rarely use it though because I don't really need it. I use it out of interest rather than necessity. Right, let's get stuck into this MIDI here and see if I can correct it. And if it's just far too miles out, then I might have to use the DJ's idea and just like map the chords and do a massive cheat. Because like if I was playing guitar and I played it as badly as that, I'd probably just end the stream and go and beat myself up. I don't feel bad about it because I'm not a keyboard player, but I certainly don't feel proud of it. Right, let's go and edit this. Now then, would it be worth attempting to make this better with some quantize? We'll try it. But I think it might. Apologies for that. I forgot it was going to do that. Right. Yeah. What was I saying? Right. It may be too far gone for quantization, but we will see. It might be better actually to do them in bits. Let's see. Right, so we're going to just snap it to the shortest note should be a half bar. Yeah. That's all very poor. I think it's going to be better, to just go like right, let's have this snap up here to half a bar. Yeah, it makes it real awkward with it being a weird time signature, doesn't it? Let me just play it and why is that recorded? I'm going to undo that. Right. Take metronome off. Right. Yeah, that's shockingly poor. I'm going to map the ones manually that I can see immediately. Right, that should. These should. Why is it making me snap? There. Okay. I have an idea I can do this. Okay. So all the ones that I can see where they should be snapped to, I'm just going to do them manually. And then I know in my think tank how I can do the others. Looks like I've got a little glitch of a note there. Quarter key by accident, I think. Right, now I need to... Okay, all the long notes, let's just make all of them last to the end of the bar. Come on, you know you want to. Alright, okay. Now, if I work out whereabouts in the bar the second note of the bar should be, then I can move those manually. So that's going to be when the arpeggio hits the C again. So there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notes in, of course. So in here, one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notes in. And then that one should last for 6 notes. Yeah, okay. Maybe I should go to this view over here for the moment. Okay, and then... I would, Gerald, I would record the choir without quantize. But my keyboard playing is poor and the timing is very weird, and I fear that you could be watching for several hours, 4, 5, 6, 7, before I actually got that anything like approaching correct. So we're just about there actually now. So this one would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There. This best be right by the time I finish this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notes long. 6 notes long, and then the last... I thought it was on the last one, then I'm only halfway there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, last 2 bars. 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 notes long. 6 notes long. Which stupid hippie thought it'd be a great idea to do 13/8? What a dickhead. I'm thinking this last chord, we may extend that right out. But for now, let's just see if that's right. I'm going to bring the volume of the choir down slightly so we can hear the toy piano nicely over the top. And go. Right, okay. I think that last chord's really, really effective, and I wonder whether something maybe different ought to happen with the arpeggio there, but I'm not massively worried about that at the moment. I'm just really, really happy that I managed to find a progression of challenging, scary chords that actually fit with the weird arpeggio with two outside notes in it in a strange time signature. Sorry about the length of time it took me to pissy pants around with that MIDI and get it in time, but you know, if some stupid hippie thinks, oh, let's make a track in 13/8, that's a good idea. This is what's going to happen. Hey Ross, nice to see you, dude. We are in fact wearing the same T-shirt today. Well, I don't know, I can't see you, but yes, I've got my Delicate Giants T-shirt on, which is pretty awesome. And here is my Delicate Giants pen doing a flyby. Extreme close-up. There. Anyway, so I've got a spooky arpeggio and some scary chords. Now, out of interest, what would that Sampletron choir sound like playing instead of the Beathawk choir? Let's just copy that choir down to here and just have a listen to that, because I think that might be nice. I'll mute the Beathawk choir for the moment. Right, I'll tell you what I'm wondering about now. I'm wondering about two things, because I thought that sounded really, really good. That toy piano sound, I do think that works. I think that works really, really well. But I'm still a little drawn to the synths. I wonder if there's a. Is there a toy piano type sound in Sampletron that might just, the timbre of it might just be more suitable. I mean, it might have got a better toy piano sound in an app, if you know what I mean. That's something I could have a look at this evening. It would waste a lot of time in the stream looking at that now. It's just a thought. Okay, so what I'm thinking now is about some low notes, maybe use the choir for some low bass notes underneath that movement there, perhaps. And what would those notes be? And maybe getting some atmospherics going on behind this. I was thinking of using lines, but I'm not going to use lines today, because I'm going to keep this to an hour today, because it's my job to make dinner this evening, and I'm going to start that at 6 o'clock. And then I have to play Roblox with my boy if it's working. So, and maybe some Minecraft too. Right. Okay. So, yeah, by the way, if you're in the chat and you haven't checked out the Delicate Giants music, then go check it out. It's utterly excellent. It's a band I was keen to play for, but it took them 800 years to ask me, but I've played on the new album that hasn't been released yet, so go check the stuff out. It's really awesome. Okay, maybe you should have a piss pants round with the I could maybe blend the two choirs together. Let's do that first. Let's blend the two choirs together. See how that works. We'll go to the desk. Right, that one's there, that one's there. I'm going to bring this one down. All right, you're ranked 11th in the world in broken bones, aren't you? That's amazing. I don't know what my son is. I have no idea. I'll ask him this evening. Okay, so I thought that worked. That worked really, really well. Let's have a look at bass notes. How loud would it be if I played a low note? With the Beathawk choir or with Sampletron? That doesn't go down that low. A lot of those, a lot of the sounds in Sampletron don't go down quite as low as you might expect, because they are sounds taken from like really, really old tape-based samplers, and they just didn't cover that sort of low range. It goes down that low though. That's pretty low. Alright, so people in the chat, are you aware of an app that has a toy piano sound in it? If you are, then just throw them in the chat so that I can, later on this evening, I can check them out and see if there's a toy piano sound that's better than this one in Logic Pro, which is alright. You know, I would just wonder if there's a better one, that's all. Right, bass notes. Okay, I'm not hearing that clearly enough to work with. Now, I was thinking earlier on, this sound that I showed you yesterday, this Logic Pro for iPad sound from the sampler, Erosion, I said in the chat yesterday that I didn't think it was tuned properly, and it's not. If I play a C on this sound, it is just not. That's not a C. To make a C, I have to play... I have to play the natural 7. So I'm going to get rid of that sound. Let's just put something else in there that's got a low sound that I can use to get the bass notes right, and then maybe I'll add them to the choir MIDI, or maybe we'll just use a different sound for the... What's a good drone app? What's a really good drone app? Yeah, toy piano sound outside of Logic. Are you aware of one, Ed? Something that's got a great drone on it. So we'll go to replace this. Something that does an immense drone sound. Well, actually, there are some great drones in Beathawk. I could open another instance of Beathawk. Decent sampler as a toy piano. You know, I never use that, but I'll look at it later. Right, so now in beat hook, what I need to do here is go. Sorry about that. I need to go here, new project, and then go to the browser. And if I go to Dark Atmospheres, there are some great, atmospheres. This is going to be a bit loud. I should turn it down first. Go to the mixing desk, you stupid hippie, and turn that down. I like that. I like that. I don't know if it's going to be the appropriate kind of sound. I'm going to use that for now to put the bass notes in. So I press load, and that loads it onto that pad there. I come out of here, and now we have that sound on that pad. I switch this over to keyboard, and now I can play this like an instrument, which means that I can use my MIDI keyboard. Or maybe I can't. Oh, I know. I mapped that to my... I mapped it to my tempo pad, which is out of shot. Hang on. Let's just move this a little. There we go. Tempo pad is in shot, sort of, but kind of obscured by this camera here. Right. Now that is a C. Would it be better an octave higher? Possibly, definitely for playing in. It takes up a lot of space, does it? Decent sampler takes up a lot of space. Oh. Are there any others that we're aware of? Sugar Bites apps. Great sounds in them. Sugar Bites are apps that I don't have a lot of. They're amazing. I've heard Doug playing them and been really impressed with them, and I don't really have much or anything by them. Is that drum app by them the really awesome one that I can't think of the name of? It is, isn't it? Right. Let's have a little pissy pants around with some bass notes here. Now what I'm going to need to do here, so I can hear it nice and clearly, is just checking my overall volume. I don't want to blast your eardrums out. Turn that up nice and loud. And then I bring everything else down a little so that I can just... actually, I'm going to need to hear the toy piano. I probably don't need to hear the two choirs quite so loud for playing this in. Right, okay, so what movement have we got here? The beat hook choir, sampletron. So we're starting on the C, and then it moves to the minor 6, and then flat 5, then it returns to the C minor. I wonder if I could play like and then go to the minor 6. Where the bloody hell is that on a pad like this? Hang on a minute. I'm going to have to think about that. People think these things are so easy to play. I don't. So, well, I'll count it, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, yeah. So my 5th is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then the 5 is there. Is that right? Sounds right. I just had an idea. Rather than playing this in, I can use the MIDI. I'll just nick it from the MIDI, right? From what I've already put in for the choir. So, if I go, come on hippie, use your brain. Go here, and then go into here. Right. So, I don't need that note. Get rid of that note. Make this one shorter. Don't need that note. Oops. Thank heavens for undo. Let's just play those first 2 bars, see what they sound like. Oh. There we go. How low is that? Maybe that would sound better an octave higher. Transpose, octave up. Alright, that sound is not really the best sound because it evolves over too long a time. I love the sound though, but it's just not, it's not the thing. Right, I know what I'm going to do here. I'm going to chop that, copy this across, and again, and again. And then select all these, join them together, right, now I'm going to quickly shift these around. So what did I do? I went from C minor to C sharp minor. Now this last note here, I'm not returning to the normal C. I'm going to the natural 7. So the natural 7 for F is an E. So let's bring that down to an E. All right, let's see if I think that's right, but let's just see if I know what I'm doing. Right, that audible is a fantastic idea. I could make the LFO go faster so that it evolves faster, but I can't do that unfortunately because it is a beathook sound, and it's just like a sampled thing. So you don't have control over the LFO or anything. So I'll find a different sound for that. But I need to finish for today because it's time for me to go and make the dinner. So this evening I'll probably have a look what other sounds I could use for that, and I'm going to check out toy piano sounds from other apps and just have a look at what the next stage is. But I think that I may be able to do a stream tomorrow lunchtime, early afternoon, something like that. So look out for me scheduling that. All right. Thank you very, very much for watching. Thanks for joining me. It's wonderful to have a bunch of people in the chat. Thank you very much once again, DJ, for the super chat. You are a marvelous, wonderful person, and have a fantastic rest of your day. I will see you all very soon. Make lots of music and try not to piss pants about. See you later.